Hello and welcome to The Real Act, where we do movie, TV reviews, entertainment news, and discussions, and so much more. As always, I'm Tucker Jensen.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Aiden.
All right, and today...
You gave your full name. You're just like, here's my first name, my last
You know,
name.
I always do that. Like, I do that on, like, birthday cards, and my mom goes, Tucker, why do you put your last name? She always, like, questions... I know. I'm just so used to saying my full name. I don't know. So today, we're going to do a discussion video about the wonderful person, Gina Carano.
Oh, don't you just love her? You just gotta love her.
Okay,
She's
no, and the funny, it's
great. Am I right, guys?
It's insane how literally just everything flipped on a goddamn dime. It was like when they were like doing like the behind the scenes stuff for the Mandalorian. It's like, oh, she was great to work with on set, and then all of a sudden, ping, bam, just like done. Like, well, instantly.
So we'll get into it. But before that, let me just lay some groundwork and some timeline so we understand the real situation, and I can debunk some of the accusations or like presumptions about the situation. So from what I've read, this was the fourth outing. Like, this was like strike one, strike two, strike three. This was strike four. So really? Disney and Lucasfilm and she also talked about it in the interview. Disney and Lucasfilm talked to her agent, and her agent talked to her about twice. And then the third time, they like sat down, they had a full-on meeting with her and said, look, you have to stop this. You have to, like, either it's that or you're fired. And she was like, okay, I'll stop. So the first and second time was about, like, I want to say, like, roughly, like, sometime last year. It was about, it was the transgender thing. That was the big one. And then she, other posts. So that was the second time. The third time was around the election when she was spreading misinformation, dangerous misinformation. And then the fourth time was the Holocaust post. So accusation number one, they fired her because of this, because of only this one post. That is not true. That is not true. They gave her 4 chances.
I mean, technically it was
not
like
one, not two, not 3, 4. James Gunn fired, not even able to talk to him.
Yeah, what the hell? Like, dude, James
4 times.
Hey,
well,
but
Kevin Hart fired from the Oscars.
Got rehired. She's not. She ain't coming back.
Kevin Hart fired 4 times.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Kevin Hart
4 times. So this assumption that she got fired because of only this one post is not true. Second thing, she got fired because she's a conservative. That is not true. There are many conservatives in the entertainment industry. None of them are getting fired left and right.
Daniel Jones is a conservative, like a hardcore conservative. Yeah, he's like a...
And from what we can probably assume, so is Chris Pratt. But guess what? They keep their mouths shut. They don't say dumb shit because they want to keep their jobs. It's that simple.
Or just don't say incredibly stupid. Like, okay, if you want to voice your opinion, that's fine. You have the right to do it. But like being stupid.
Just cares.
Yeah, and we all agree that Gina Carano should be fired. And honestly, I'm surprised it took this long.
Well, the thing that I find like quite surprising is that, like, and we'll probably get to this later, but it's like, especially with the final thing, that like the straw that broke the camel's back. What it pertains to, it's like, so Ben Shapiro is the one doing this. And like, I don't know why. Like, this for some reason I just kind of couldn't get that through my head. I was like, that seems
like
kind of
he's the one handling the situation.
Yeah, I'm like, that seems kind of strange.
Right?
Like, is it just me?
Well, I mean, it's strange, but it's also not at all.
Yeah,
it's like the exact thing you would expect.
That's true.
Yeah.
And like,
dude, it's Ben Shapiro.
That's true. Right. But like, and I think that it's important that like actors and personalities should have their own opinion and their own thoughts. They're not just like being controlled by whoever's employing them. Right. But at the same time, there's also limits.
Yeah. There's a boundary to what are thoughts and what are dangerous things that discriminate against people, right?
Or just like propaganda. There's obviously lines, and I think that should cross one of them.
So that's the timeline. So it was not just because it's one post. It's not that she's conservative. It's not that she was conservative. She was sorry. I was drinking water and it.
Oh my god!
Out the wrong pipe.
He's dying.
I don't have the coronavirus. I swear. I was just drinking some water. I do this a lot lately. So yeah, that was a rough timeline. So it wasn't just because this one post. It's not because she's a conservative. It's because she made multiple mistakes, and they told her. I mean, like they didn't fire her, but they did strip her from her role in the Rangers of the New Republic, which was supposed to be her show. Which is gonna have Hera. Which I don't know why they didn't start off with that, because that sounds like a better idea to begin with.
Yeah,
but
I know,
okay.
Right? I'm like, this is all for the better. This is good stuff. Maybe that's why she made the show better. To be honest, like I was liking her more in season 2, but did anyone really like her character that much? I mean, she was kind of interesting here and there, but like,
well, I think her role in the story was interesting.
But you take her out and she has literally no impact on the story. Like you can replace her with any character or even just take her out completely. Nothing changes about the story. Nothing, not one thing.
Dude, as long as we get Grief Karga, I'm okay. I'm a happy guy.
True.
Right? Grief Karga, you just replace the other. I considered them a duo for a while. Not like shipping that. Get that out of here.
They were part of a crime sort of thing.
Partners of crime. But you take her out, find them a new, right? So I don't care. I don't care about her. She was cool while it lasted, but you know how often the characters just kick the bucket. I really don't care. Just
also, random thing, because I was looking up Carl Weathers. Fun fact: Carl Weathers went to San Diego State.
Did he? That's cool.
Yes, he did. And he's been married 3 times.
That's Hollywood.
Yeah. Okay, anyways.
So my first question to you guys, I mean, you guys have kind of answered it, but so like make it short, so we can move on to other questions. But do you agree with this decision? And are you surprised it happened, so late?
No. What do you mean so? What do you mean so late?
Like, are you surprised? Because Fire Gina Carano was trending on Twitter in like November, December. Like this is not the first time.
Really? Okay. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the first time.
That you have not heard about this, Aiden. Like,
I know. You think I would have heard about it?
So, really? Do you agree with the situation? Would you have handled it better? Because she said in the interview that the Ben Shapiro interview, that she found out on social media, which I was like, I literally do not care. Boo, freaking who do you? What difference does it really make? Are you guys surprised about this decision? Are you surprised that it happened so late? Do you agree with it? Ethan, I'll start with you.
Okay. I would have done it the first time that it was clear that she was not going to listen to them telling her to stop. She was
then that technically would have been the second time.
Hold on. Hold your horses. So the first time she started saying stuff, it's like, all right, I don't know what you're doing, but stop. Okay? So that's what I would have done. I'm like, stop. Obviously, I wouldn't just fire her immediately, but like, stop it. And then she started doing worse stuff on her social media, like saying worse things. Then I would have been like, all right, this is a problem. We should probably fire her, because she's not a character that really matters. And it's not like, I mean, I assume they had important things to do with her character, which is why it took them so long, because they had to figure stuff out, and if they really needed to do this. But you got to do what you got to do. You can't have her employed. No, yeah, I totally agree with it. No, and it should have happened earlier. They should have been like, hey, I know they would never do this, but my cup of tea would have been like at the Disney Investor Day, they were like, screw Gina Carano. We're not giving her series anymore.
That's a way to get fired, right?
She's out the door. Say goodbye. No, but they would never do that. But that'd be funny. But no, yes, she should have been fired a while ago. Goodbye. I don't.
And I agree that like I think the right thing to do is kind of like not the best, but like I get your point. And it's like, yes, like it's about your own views. Like if you want to go do your own thing and like make your own film company, do some stuff, fine. Like go ahead. You are more than welcome to do that. We're not stopping you. Let's like for our company, aka Disney and Lucasfilm, Disney especially being like the most family friendly, or tries to always be the most family friendly thing out there. That's they preserve their image at all costs with the whole with the whole Love Victor thing as well. Like they're just trying to preserve their image, and that's what they chose to do. And I think that like
Love Victor, that's a different story. That's like,
but it's the same concept of trying to convey a certain image of the company.
But
fundamentally,
okay.
I think you guys bring up.
I'm not. You know my stance on that. I'm just saying.
No, I totally get that. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think you guys both bring up really good
point of view
points.
for Love Victor, which is a different story, but from the Love Victor point of view, then that's where I go to Disney and
there were chickens.
Yeah.
Yes, this is true. But like, was it a good idea?
Yes.
Probably not.
It
was a good idea it wasn't a good idea to reject it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Totally different thing.
But
I do want to point out though how funny it was in the interview, because Gina Carano kept being like, "I'm not like against transgenders. I'm not homophobic or sexist or anything." And Ben Shapiro's like, no, totally. And then you go to Ben Shapiro's YouTube channel, and you just see like one of the top videos is Ben Shapiro destroys transgenderism. It's like,
we'll get into the interview because there are so many like just laugh out loud moments.
That's fucking classic.
But I want to bring up a point that you two make and kind of combine them, like the social media and the family friendly. When you're part of a Disney Plus biggest show, you know, basically the face of Disney Plus. She's one of the faces of Disney Plus, and Lucasfilm and Disney in general, or at least getting to the point becoming a face of. And you have a social media where young people are following you and looking up to you, especially young girls. You can't be posting reckless stuff about that, because then you're influencing these kids, and even adults, to thinking these wild, factsless, baseless accusations and opinions, if you want to call them. Like, they're not opinions. Like, you can't be like, well, I think the election was rigged. That's not an opinion you can have. You can have an opinion on if a burger is good or not. You can't have an opinion on if climate change is real. It's like, you can
why things like that are so absurd, because it's like, you can be a conservative. I don't care. But when you go on Twitter,
we're not saying you can't be
as a large platform that you are, and like a person that delivers these messages to so many people of your audience, and you say something like, "Don't worry, guys, it's just my opinion, but climate change isn't real," or something like that. It's like, that's not.
But I will say, there's certain things, I think Gina Carano crossed the line. There's certain things that, like, if you think that and you keep that to yourself, I don't care. Like, especially as a company.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, hey, if
keep
you
it to yourself.
Like, if you think like Jeffrey Epstein's death was faked and like whatever, you don't say anything about it, we don't care. Just do your job. That's it.
Yeah,
like,
it's just because like you're using it on social media where you have an influence on people, and especially young people. That's the point. And that is the point.
I think that the whole like the topic of like when they should have fired her. I mean, it was like they should have probably fired her sooner, but it wasn't like the most pressing issue that Disney needed to deal with at that moment.
Yes.
So I get like, hey, we have some other things. That's not great. We're gonna try and deal with that, but it's not like, okay, we need to make a decision now, fire her. Like,
yeah. And there was like some like rumors that like Jon Favreau was like protecting her because she was like her character. I'm like, well, if he was her character, why didn't he give her more screen time and like more and put her into the story? I'd be like,
that is true. That is very true.
I'd be like, I don't think that's really true there, buddy. These basic accusations. So let's move on to the interview. It was really hard to watch. I only watched like, I think 30 minutes of it, but that's all I needed to watch. So let's start with like going down the line of this timeline of what she explained. Mm-hmm. So first she explained the transgender thing, that when she put beep boop bop in her bio. Now, when she explained it, I was like, what? Okay, so let me say. So she was like, oh, well, me and my friend, we just, we thought, well, you're putting anything you want in your bio, so we'll put anything I want in my bio. I'm like, that's making fun of transgender people. And she was like, that's not making fun of transgender people. I'm like, that's making fun of transgender. What? I'm losing brain cells.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, especially in the sense that, like, yeah, I'm trying to think.
Like, you're not thinking it, but you are. And then she was like, Disney was setting up meetings with me with LGBTQ groups, and I just didn't want to go because I didn't want to get yelled at. I'm like, well, that happens when you piss off and make fun of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. What are you expecting? You know what, Trina? We forgive you. We love you. Not what the Like, if someone makes fun of me, I'm not gonna be like, you know what, I forgive you, I love you. I'll be like, what the hell did you say to me? You know, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, I think that, like, so I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Not saying that I agree. I'm just saying, like, okay, if you put something like stupid in your bio like that, it's just like, okay, whatever, that's fine. But like, it's,
and that's the thing.
It's the intent in the context of that it's supposed to, or allegedly supposed to, make fun of that group.
No, that's the thing I was like. It's definitely not. You should not say that or do that. But that's the thing I was referring to. It's like, all right, Gina, don't do that. I mean, you're not fired, but like, stop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But my point was just like, you know, after that, when she kept going, I wouldn't stop after they were telling her to stop. Then I would have been like, all right, you're fired. Like, I don't see how this is so hard for you. Like,
yeah.
Goodbye.
So then, after all the election stuff, they had their sit-down meeting with her, physical one, and they gave her someone, what was it, like a media consultant to like talk with her and like tell her like, hey, this is the stuff you can't do and the stuff you can't post.
Yeah.
She literally, in those two situations, the transgender situation and the other situation, she literally just explained that Disney gave her resources to be better so that they wouldn't have to fire her. They spent their money to help her. And it's like, in the end, she's like, Disney was so mean to me. Everyone was so rude to me. It's like, they gave you resources. I mean, like, most people just get fired. Taking case with the guy on The Flash. His 10-year-old, 8-year-old tweets came up. Fired. I mean, they did take a while to respond to that, but he was just fired. They didn't get anyone to talk with him. He didn't get to apologize. They fired him. So I'm confused what you're so mad about, because it looks like Disney not only gave you chances, but also gave you resources to be better. So I'm a little confused here. What's the problem? It seems like it's your fault when they are giving you resources. That just doesn't make any sense. And then Ben Shapiro was like, after, you know, the whole Holocaust post, Ben Shapiro asked her, so Disney didn't call you to ask for an apology? I'm like, that was like her fourth. It's, you don't get unlimited chances when you're at a multi-billion-dollar company. You should only really get one chance, and then after the second chance, you're out. Like, I don't understand.
Well, and I just think it's interesting that, like, and like we mentioned before, it's like people who are like huge faces. Like, I don't know what the meaning of this is. Like, I think it is strange, but like people like James Gunn and Kevin Hart, who are like pretty big faces in Hollywood, one shot done. But like,
and they apologize for those tweets years in advance.
Well, and it's not even that, but like Gina Carano, it's like she's not really that well known in contrast to those people. So I'm like,
yeah,
like, wouldn't you think it's the opposite? Like, wouldn't you think like, oh, they're a little bit overdone, let's give them another chance? And then like the rest of the people, it's like, yeah, whatever, just kick them to the curb. Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking that's the inconsistency of that is strange to me.
Yeah, and this is not cancel culture. Like, I don't really like that word, cancel culture. It's mostly just
I think the term is stupid. I think the term is stupid, but yeah, the concept is there.
Yes, but this is not cancel culture. This is accountability. You know, when you are at a company, you're not allowed to just say whatever you want. You know, it's like, not like you can say whatever you want, but like you can't say dangerous stuff. You can't go around saying racial slurs or spreading misinformation. That stuff gets you fired. That gets you fired at any company, not just Disney.
Wait, shit. I was gonna say something. Wow, I just totally blanked.
No, I agree.
What were you saying, Tucker? Hold on.
Like, it just baffles me. Like, some of these conservatives are like, I'm behind Gina. Behind Gina.
So
it's like, you never even heard Gina until like 2 weeks ago, didn't you?
So what I was going to say was that, no way, I just forgot again. No. Oh, wait, no. What the hell's happening to me? Oh my God.
Keep like getting it.
I'll go for him. So I think that it's just super weird that she's like this very unknown. Well, I mean, she's kind of well known.
I mean, she's well known technically.
But you know what I mean. I mean, compared to people like James Gunn or Kevin Hart, pretty unknown person who's in this TV show. And all of a sudden, as soon as she's fired, everyone just comes out of nowhere and they're like, what?
Well, sorry. I
it's like every. Oh yeah, yes,
I need to say this before I fucking forget it again. And like I said, I'm not making claims. I'm just making observations, saying the fact that the thing that happened with Gina Carano, she got a lot more chances, and everything happened a lot more recently. And then, like for Kevin Hart and James Gunn, they happened like 10 years ago. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just pointing that out.
Well, I think you have a point there. I mean, not at all saying I agree with anything that Kevin Hart or James Gunn said, because those were very horrible remarks. In fact, probably worse than what Gina Carano said. But
yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they are.
I know because I don't remember them exactly. That's why I'm saying.
Okay. But I think the fact that they were clearly joking. Even I hate to, like, I'm not trying to, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So they were clearly joking, and two, it was so long ago that I'd like to think that they are better. And if there are any signs or anything that they do something or say something or anything that reflect that they have not changed, then if I were Disney or a Warner Bros. Exec, whoever they're working for currently, I would be like, all right, you're done. Because like it's just the reason they are still employed is because not only are they very talented, but they are seemingly okay now. I hate that, but you know what I'm trying to say. Gina Carano has literally not stopped, and she can't stop, and she's still employed, or she was still employed. That's why she had to be fired. Like she was obviously had no intent.
I guess, yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just this whole situation was like you asked for it. Like you asked for it. Like you can't. There's no one else to blame but yourself.
Well, I will say though that like I think it's interesting because like once again you have to take any like context into consideration. Like, say if what they said. Say if either Trump won the election or like Trump didn't make the claims that the election was stolen. Do you think that this argument would still stand? Like now, because it seems like a lot of the people who are like, because a lot of for conservatives seem to be backing Gina Carano might believe that same thing as well. So do you think that if that didn't happen back in 2020, we'd be even in this scenario at all and just be like, oh, you're fired, that's it?
Maybe, maybe not. I think the Capitol riots definitely, progressed her firing. I don't know. That's hard to tell because like so much has just happened. Like it's hard.
I know, but I'm just
it's hard to go back and believe like what if this didn't happen? It's hard to believe that.
That's true because like with the reality we've accepted, but like I think it's interesting to consider. Like if that didn't happen, who knows? Maybe it just would have been like everything else. Be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it sucks because like sometimes like and like someone was talking about like conspiracy theories and stuff. Like it's like sometimes people just can't like grapple with the fact that like things are a lot more simple sometimes than we're led to believe. It's like she just said something stupid. It's like, no, there's this secret thing going on. It's like they're trying to like suppress conservative views. It's like, no, she was just said something stupid. Like
yeah.
So
I'm like,
I think,
so you're aligning yourself with those views. Okay, where do you work? Like, I hope you're not my mailman, or I hope you're not my painter in my house.
No, okay, honestly, if you like are my mailman and you don't say anything, I don't care. I don't want you to be like my surgeon or like my therapist.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, definitely not my therapist. Yeah. See, that's the difference. Like, you keep it to yourself. Like, that's the whole point. Sure. Keep it to yourself.
There's a boundary to that too, though. Like, obviously, like if they find out somehow that you are, I mean, it's Hollywood. Realistically, if they know, but they're not like being super public about it, they probably will keep them employed because Hollywood's dirty, and they just want to make money. But
I mean, yeah,
from a moral point of view, if they know that they are inside a racist or sexist or whoever person, immediately they should be fired. But again, Hollywood's dirty, so they probably wouldn't care. But because unless there's publicity about it, because they have to, otherwise they'll be.
I'll also say it doesn't like we shouldn't. I mean, we should be blaming Hollywood in the sense of like you said, Hollywood's dirty, but like at the same time, it's like when has it not been that way? It's always been that way. No, so it's not like it's like, oh no, Hollywood's fallen from grace. It's like no, it's always been that way.
They've always been this way.
Exactly.
No, so like, it's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. It's always going to be like that, probably, because they want to make money.
Sure.
And the actors are good, and the actors get money.
But we gotta hope that like we gotta hope that like there are going to be more good people than bad.
Oh, there are.
It's like that. Like that's the difference. Like that's the difference. Like Gina
it
Carano,
ultimately comes down to business. So even probably good executives
and
look
well,
down at it and they're like, well, the public doesn't know that they're not a good person. There's so many actors that are probably horrible people.
Well, and I think the interesting thing is that it's specific. Like the Gina Carano incident is specific. I've heard multiple instances of Christian Bale not being a great person, like just being an asshole. It's like not being a great person.
Oh yeah.
But like just because it's not specific, just he's an asshole. That's it. It's like, well, he's just an asshole.
There's a difference between being an asshole and actually being a bad person. I mean,
but then where's the line? Like there's a lot of stuff.
The line is like if you're actually discriminating against people. You know what I'm saying? But like assholes.
Hey, if you're mean to everyone equally, then it's okay.
No, I mean, you know, but you get what
that's a joke.
I know.
So yeah, that was our discussion about this situation. Hopefully,
I got to a very philosophical conversation. Yeah. I liked it. That was nice. That was cool.
So let us know what you thought. Do you think this was a correct decision? Do you think this is the right thing for Disney and Lucasfilm to do?
Wait, I have a quick question. Okay. Before we wrap it up, I just want to know, would you two rather she exits the show, like her character, or she's recast?
Just kill her. Like, let me just be like, bam, and just like Mandalorian's like, no, that's it. Just continue. Like, because I think recasting her, like we said, it's like
Star Wars doesn't really do that. That's like Marvel's thing.
I know, but
Marvel can get away with it, but Star Wars likes continuity.
No, but I'm just saying, like you said, the character wasn't important. It's like, why waste money on a character that you weren't really using that much anyways? So it's like just create some character development with the other characters as a result of her death or something.
You hearing those rumors about Hera? You know, I wouldn't complain if you brought her over to Mando as well. Yeah, you know, and with Hera, you get Jason. You know, there's a lot of spicy stuff coming that way. And you probably, with the Ahsoka series, you probably have Ezra. Yeah, like it just makes sense for this to happen anyway. Like, why wasn't
it just makes sense?
It's all connecting. And Sabine's probably coming in. The Rebels are coming in, man. I just
all connected.
I just wish my favorite was still alive because he would be so awesome in live action. Rest in peace.
So go down in the comments below. Tell us what you thought of this situation. Tell us, do you think they should kill off Cara Dune? I almost forgot her name.
I was calling her Gina Carano. I'm like, oh shit.
Do you think they should kill off Gina? Do you think they should kill off Cara Dune in the show, or do you think they should recast her? You know, does this change your opinion on Lucasfilm? Jump out in the comments below. Tell us what you thought. Thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
See you guys.